Let's talk about one of these messages that I got on my anonymous chat recently. It says, "Hey Simon, I came in fall 21. My GPA dropped below 3 and since then I have been on probation. I didn't get a summer internship, so doing summer courses now. I don't know where I'm headed. The university has started placing holds on me. Have to apply for full-time as well. I'm not getting where all of this is headed to. Please guide." I wanted to specifically choose this topic today, mainly because this is a problem that is widespread, but it's least talked about. There are very less number of resources available as to how to cope with this problem, and I wanted to share some personal anecdotes as well that will hopefully help you resolve this problem, or at least like get it in control. First of all, I wanted to share my own experience with such a thing. To preface this, I was a pretty good student back in India. I came from a small town in India to the US. Have been scoring pretty decently in my academics. The moment I landed here, there was like a lot of negativity around me, appended with a culture shock kind of element, me being far away from my loved ones and things like that. So this led to a lot of getting used to in the first semester, and as a result of that, I think I scored something like a B, and a B minus in the first semester, which obviously meant that my GPA went below 3 and I was placed on academic probation. By any stretch of the imagination, I was not necessarily a dumb student. That was pretty obvious because I got into one of the better universities in the US. However, it was all these circumstances around me, mostly cultural, that affected me. Looking back now from where I'm at, I do see this as a huge learning lesson and a self-exploration opportunity for me, and I want to share that with you. First of all, one of the things I realized is this is in no way a reflection of who you are in your capabilities. And the reason is because if you have gotten into a premier university or one of the good universities, especially in the US, you must have worked like super hard for that. You must have had the academic credentials to get into that in the first place. So this is in no way a direct reflection of who you are as a student, or your abilities as a student. Then why did this happen, or what is this a signal of, right? And that is where you need to enter into a phase of self-exploration, which can only be done by, number one, taking responsibility for this thing that has happened. And key to taking responsibility is also understanding why this happened. And how do you sort of decompose this whole situation into understanding what actually caused it? Number one, try to understand all the other parameters that you had around yourself and everything that you went through in the course of that semester, and try to reason out if this is caused due to any sort of culture shock kind of situations, or are you not eating properly, which is why you're feeling weak. It can be a varied sort of bunch of reasons that might be causing this, right? It could be something like an addiction issue that you maybe got into, or maybe like a breakup that you got into, something like that. There could be one or more parameters that might have led to this, which if you honestly reason with your own self, you'll be able to get into the details of that pretty quickly. The second thing after that is to fix the root cause of the issue. So if it was, let's say, a culture issue. In my case, what I did was I started associating myself more with the people that do not possess a negative vibe around them, because I soon discovered that this whole negativity of, I'll tell you an example. So I came here for control systems engineering, which is supposed to be one of the hardest fields to get a job as an international student. Although I continued in controls and I'm doing just fine now, I didn't necessarily know this before, and I succumbed to this whole negative vibe of, hey, why did you even choose this? What is going to happen of you? And things like that, which sort of spiraled into, hey, what's the whole meaning of all this? Like, screw it. Like, I don't even care kind of thing, which led to, this whole fiasco that happened. So once I realized that, I started surrounding myself with more positive people and more positive sort of environments, and I started taking it as a challenge to apply everywhere, because applications and the calls that you get and the interviews that you give are an attestation to the fact that, hey, okay, are you making a mistake in your resume, or are you making a mistake in the interview process, all of these things. So I started forcing myself into that situation which I was essentially afraid of and other people discouraged me in, just to get a proof for myself that, hey, okay, this is actually how it works. So what it means is, once you identify the root cause of what is happening, face that head on by subjecting yourself in micro doses to that fear factor that is actually affecting you. I know this might sound as a pep talk to most people, and I also, to a certain degree, detest a lot of pep talk, but then this is one important step for you to take. Certainly it helped me. The next thing is to find someone that you can confide in, meaning, let's say a mentor, or let's say someone who would wish good for you, right? Let's say you have like a family member close to you. Most of us don't. I didn't have any family member close to me. Or you might have like a professor or a mentor or student welfare officer in your university, or a friend or someone in your family, even back home, that might be able to, talk to you for, let's say, 30 minutes every day, something like that, or maybe an hour a week, whatever suits you, just to get that breath of fresh air and that perspective that there is more to this than what I'm going through right now. So there's that. And let's say in a world where you don't have anyone else, anyone at all, that you can sort of bank on, that's my Instagram handle. Go there and just message me. Happy to have a quick chat and see what you're going through and help you out with that. The other thing you need to realize is, the more you delay this, the more you suffer, the more you expose yourself to, maybe getting into a probation the second time, or, staying in probation the second time, or not getting your GPA over 3.0 and things like that, which is going to be ugly. So you need to start addressing this from the moment it starts showing up. And that's how you can, go leaps and bounds with this. So I think the overall message to take away from here is that as a result of all the things that I told you, I went into academic probation in the first semester, but I took it as a challenge to understand the root cause. And from the second semester onwards, I bet you the second semester was literally working my butt off to get those grades up and back into academic good standing. And since then, I've moved on to work for some of the top companies in Silicon Valley, like Tesla, Lyft, Neuro, and I have done a lot of like entrepreneurial stints myself. So all in all, my story should tell you that even if you are in some sort of like an academic probation, it's not the end of the story unless like you give up. I really, really, really wish you the absolute best. Please find that ally, that mentor that can help you out. And if there's no one, just drop me a message on Instagram. Happy to help you out. I'm rooting for you.